Hey guys, so for this video I thought I'd do something a little different. It's not 100% metal related, but it's still kind of in there. Um, I have this story that happened to me a couple of years ago about a really bad concert experience. So I thought I would share it with you guys. At the time, it wasn't funny. It was probably one of the most worst experiences of my life, but I can look back and laugh at it now. I want to change some of the names in it because I don't want to slander anyone or anything. So I'll just use some fake names for people. Uh, so stuff like that. So I might as well get into it. So this happens a couple of years ago, like September of 2013. I was at work in the break room, and one of my friends pointed out that in the newspaper, Black Sabbath was going to be playing in Ottawa. And when I saw that, I was like, that's fantastic. First of all, I love Black Sabbath, so I definitely want to see them live. And with Christmas just around the corner, I would get tickets for my dad and myself, and we could go together. My dad likes Black Sabbath, and so do I. And it was Ozzy Osbourne returning as a singer for this line of concerts, so I thought it'd be even better. And then I got home and looked online, and I noticed how much the tickets were, and I was like, fuck that. That's way too much money to spend. Even though like the shitty tickets, like up in the nosebleeds, they weren't worth the money. So I thought, that doesn't really seem worth it. Never mind, I'll get him something else. So a couple months after all this, one of my friends, we'll call him Jake, he said to me like, Black Sabbath is coming and the prices of the tickets are pretty good. So I went and checked them out. They must have lowered the prices of the tickets because no one was buying the outrageous prices they were offering. I was like, what, this actually isn't bad, and we could get like pretty good seats at these prices too. So sure, why the hell not? So he said our friend Stan wanted to go to the concert too. So I bought all three tickets. They gave me the money, all well and good. So it was in April. So when the date finally came around, we were getting ready, and they said they wanted to head to Ottawa at like 8 in the morning, and the concert was until 8 at night. And that seemed like a really early time to go to a city like 12 hours before the concert starts. But they assured me that no, we had a lot planned. We're going to do a lot, and it'll feel like there's 10 minutes before we get to the concert. So all right, what the hell? If they have stuff planned, we may as well go and have some fun before we go to the concert. So we head to Ottawa, and he said, we're going to go hang out with a friend named Brian. Uh, let's go hang out with him for a bit. He's not going to the concert, but we can hang out with him for a bit before we go. So we park in this grocery store parking lot because we don't want to pay for parking anywhere. And it's like his apartment is isn't too far away from here, so we'll go walk there and everything will be fine. So we're walking and we're walking and we're walking and we're walking, and we were walking for about 45 minutes. I'm like, what fucking universe is a 45-minute walk close? That pissed me off. And not to mention, as we were walking there, we're passing all these other like grocery stores and parking lots where we could park for free, right? Like, why didn't we fucking drive a hell of a lot closer to his place? Anyway, so also as we're walking there, I noticed that the neighborhood is getting worse and worse. And then I realized that we're in Vanier. Now, for anyone who has never been to Ottawa, Vanier is probably the worst ghetto in the entire city. Like, it is fucking run down. There is drug dealers on every corner. There are prostitutes on every other corner. There are fucking gangs roaming around everywhere. It is a fucking rough neighborhood, not some place you want to be. And so I'm noticing this. No one else seems to have a problem where we're going. So we get to his buddies. We get to Brian's apartment. And I've never met this guy before, so I didn't know what the fuck to expect. But he comes down, and he's actually a really nice guy. Very well mannered, very polite. You can't judge a book by its cover. So I was very very pleasant experience meeting Brian, and I very much liked him. Very nice guy. Haven't seen him since, but yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. So we head downtown in Ottawa, go to some of the malls, hang out there. And it's like, kind of run out of stuff we want to do here. So let's go back to Brian's house. And I should also tell you that Jake brought some money, some cash with him, because his dad and some of his dad's friends wanted t-shirts from the concert. But he only brought like $140. And I told him, like, you want to buy 4 t-shirts, you clearly haven't been to a concert before, because at concerts they fucking gouge you for t-shirts. Like, you're at a Black Sabbath concert, that's like at least $35 per shirt. you're not going to have money for anything else. But every 2 hours, he wanted to go eat somewhere. He wanted to go to Subway, to Pizza Hut, this diner called Zack's or something like that. Every time, like, we keep every 2 hours we're going another place to eat, another place to eat. It's like, fuck, I'm running out of money here because all you ever want to do is fucking eat. So of course he blew through his money really, really quickly. So anyway, we go back to Brian's apartment, and once again we're in the middle of the fucking ghetto. We go to his apartment, and it turns out that he lives with his grandma. And nothing wrong with that, shit happens sometimes. However, his grandma's a bit of a hoarder. And when I say a bit of a hoarder, I mean a really fucking bad hoarder. There was garbage all over the place. And there was this gentleman sitting on the couch. I never got his real name because he wanted to be referred to as the Ascended Being. He called himself that because he has ascended past the needs and urges of a regular human being. While he's calling himself the Ascended Being, while he's sitting there fucking smoking a cigarette and a drink in his hand, right? So he's clearly ascended past humans, right? And of course he's some dirty ass hippie making claims like how he hacked the Pentagon and how he hacked the CIA. Stupid shit that any dirty hippie says. And of course Jake has to pipe in and starts questioning him, and they get into a fucking argument, and this is really the last place I want to fucking be. In the middle of a fucking crack den with some hippie who calls himself the Ascended Being. Fuck me, fuck my life, why am I here? So I'm really pissed off. The house smells like cigarettes and fucking cat piss, so I just want to get the hell out of there. Then Brian starts saying that he wants to go to the concert too. So we tell him, like, you can probably pick up a ticket at the place. I doubt they sold out, but, it might not be the best price, and you'll probably be in some really shitty seats. He says, I don't give a shit, I just want to go and have a good time at the concert. So it's no big deal. So and he invites his cousin. I don't even remember what his name is, but my cousin would like to go too. So like, yeah, sure, we'll pick up your cousin too, whatever. So as we're getting ready to get the fuck out of here, this fucking ghetto, I tell him, near the stadium there's a Chapters bookstore. Like, can we just stop by the Chapters for 5 minutes? Maybe I can pick up a good book or something. Kind of make this whole experience a bit better if I can pick up something nice to read and get the smell of cigarettes out of my fucking nose. So we go to the Chapters, and of course, there are fucking metalheads all over the place, because it's so close to the stadium where the concert is. Everyone's wearing their battle jackets and Black Sabbath t-shirts and, all that cool stuff. So I'm looking at the books and talking to Brian. We're having a good time talking about serial killers and all these cool, interesting books there are about them. And Jake and Stan see these two girls who are clearly younger than us. Well, me and Jake at the time were 21. Stan he was 16 at the time. Didn't really care how old he was. I wasn't having sex with him. We were just, we're being friends, right? It doesn't matter how old he was. He was a cool metalhead that I liked hanging out with. Anyway, there were these two girls there who at the bookstore who clearly were 16 as well. They were nowhere close to my age, so I'm not going to go fucking over and talk to some 16-year-old girls. That'd be weird. But I wouldn't have a problem if Stan went to go talk to them. He's 16, they're 16. Nothing wrong with that. But then Jake starts going over and talking to them too. And it's getting pretty uncomfortable seeing a 21-year-old around 16-year-olds. So it was making me pretty uncomfortable. And once again, turning the whole bookstore experience into something really uncomfortable and weird and something I didn't want to be a part of. So we get out of there, and they're clearly making these girls uncomfortable, and these girls took a different exit to get out of the store, to get away from them because of how uncomfortable they were making them. And we go outside, get into the car, and they're like, no, we're going to wait outside for the girls to come out so we can talk to them some more. It's like, guys, they don't want to fucking be around you. You're making them really uncomfortable. Let's just go to the fucking concert and get our seats and get on with it. So finally we convince them, let's get the fuck out of here, and we go to the stadium. So Brian and his cousin were able to get some tickets, really shitty seats, nowhere close to ours, but they were just happy to be able to go there. So that was nice of them. And so of course Jake wants to get t-shirts, but he has like $50 left on him. He barely has any money left on him at all. And so he goes like, I'll just use my debit card. I'm like, Jake, it's a concert vendor. Like, these are vendors at a concert. They don't have debit and credit card machines. That would make the long lines even longer. It would make everything grind to a halt. And they're like, no, 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 well, I'll just use my debit card. And so obviously they don't take his debit card because they don't take debit and credit at fucking vendors at a concert. You need cash. And so the next thing you know, we're all on a mission to try to find him a debit machine, and there aren't any around. And so he's getting all pissed off about it. And once again, bringing the mood of all of our fucking moods right down because we don't want to listen to someone whine and cry about how he doesn't have enough money, even though he wasted all of his money throughout the day. So we didn't get any t-shirts. I didn't get anything. There weren't any t-shirts that really interested me. Whatever. It's either you like what they have or you don't. So we go and take our seats. Jake gets separated from us because he's going out looking for debit machines and all that shit. But we just go, like, he has his own ticket, he can find a seat. It's not like general admission where everyone's just kind of standing around. We all have assigned seats. So we get to our seats, and then he comes down. He's all pissed off that we abandoned him. That's not what happened. We just got separated. There was a giant-ass crowd. So the opening band comes on. They're pretty good, not bad. Then, of course, Black Sabbath takes the stage. Even though it was a bad, the whole day was a bad experience, the show was still really, really good. Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, and Tony Iommi, they really stole the show. They had a different drummer for some reason, whatever. It would have been a better experience, but Jake, like, all he did was complain that the concert that they were putting on wasn't like Kiss. And he was complaining that they weren't playing Ozzy Osbourne songs. It's like, we didn't go to an Ozzy concert, we went to a Black Sabbath concert. They're not going to play Crazy Train, they're not going to play Bark at the Moon. This isn't Ozzy Osbourne, this is Black Sabbath. And I told them this before, don't expect them to play Ozzy Osbourne songs. So he was standing there the entire time with his arms crossed, moping and complaining that they weren't playing Ozzy Osbourne song and how this wasn't a great show like Kiss because Kiss had pyrotechnics. Just completely ignoring the fact that it's a different band doing their own thing. Not everyone has to do the exact same thing. There was a point when some older women came over and wanted to take pictures with me and Stan. And Jake, once again, they didn't ask him to be a part of it, so he's just moping about that. And just became this a big downer. It kind of brought the whole mood down. It was very unpleasant to be around. So finally the concert ends, and we go outside talking to some people, waiting for the crowds to die down so we can drive out of there a bit easier. And when we were in the concert, it started pouring rain outside. So it's cold, it's wet, it's really uncomfortable. We're all wearing t-shirts. We were getting pretty cold and chilly and starting to shake. And so we finally get in the car after talking to a bunch of people. We gotta get Brian and his cousin back to his place. So we drive right back to the fucking ghetto. It's in the middle of the night too. It's like 1 a.m. 1 a.m. in the ghetto. And of course, I didn't want to go back into the apartment because it smells like cigarettes and cat pee. So I'm waiting outside, and there are fucking prostitutes everywhere coming over and talking to me. What are you up to, handsome? Got any money on you? And fuck, I don't want you to buy your drugs or get stabbed or anything. I don't want you to suck my dick. Certainly not from some dirty ass Ottawa prostitute in the middle of the fucking ghetto. Next thing you know, Jake's like, "Oh, let's go hang out for a bit." It's like, dude, it's 1 in the fucking morning. I want to go home. This has been a really shitty day. I just want to go home and sleep in my own fucking bed. And so we start driving back. We have to go drop Stan off at his place, and he lives in Quebec. So we had to drive all the way to Quebec, then back to Ottawa, then back to where we lived, which was about an hour away from Ottawa. So the rain has stopped, but it got really foggy, like really, really foggy, like see 5 feet in front of you foggy, right? So of course we can't go very fast, so it turned an hour and a half drive into like a 3-hour drive. And of course the entire time Jake was just complaining the whole time about how there weren't any true metalheads there and how it wasn't like Kiss and blah 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 blah. And for some reason he gets on the topic of religion and he starts going on about that. I'm not going to talk about my religious choices because that's I don't talk about religion. That's something I believe someone should keep to themselves. But he starts going on about how he's an atheist and how atheism has really humbled him. To me, if you're humble, you don't tell someone how humble you are. That's not the act of a humble person. A humble person, sits quietly, does their own thing. They don't have to tell everyone, "Hey, guess what? I'm humble. Not you, me, I'm humble." That's not what a humble person does, right? So I'm just biting my fucking tongue, trying not to punch him right square in the mouth. So he pulls into my driveway, and he's like, "Oh, let's go hang out for a bit." I'm like, dude, It's 4 in the fucking morning. I'm going to bed. I'm not in the mood to hang out. This has been a shitty night. You even ruined the fucking concert. I'm going to fucking bed. So I tell him to get the hell out of there. He goes home. I get home, fucking drop into my bed. But, I'm an early riser. So even though it was 4 in the morning, I still woke up 3 hours later at 7 a.m. Barely any sleep. Thankfully, I didn't work that day. I'm just in a really pissed off, groggy mood, trying to get some food into me. And what do I hear at the fucking door? Knocking. It's Jake wanting to hang out. Fuck this. I didn't answer the door. This isn't happening. Pretty much after that, I stopped hanging around those guys. It was just such a horrible, horrible experience. But, now that it's over, I can thankfully sit down and talk about it and laugh about it because it's like one of those series of horrible events. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong. So it makes for a really, really good story for anyone who's willing to listen. So I thought I would just share that funny story with you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy telling it. So yeah, tell in the comments, do you guys have any concert experiences that went really, really fucking bad? I want to know, because those stories are always the best to listen to and to read about and everything like that. So yeah, that's my story. So like I said before, I either do album recommendations or warnings at the end of my videos now. So I will recommend the album Winterborn by Wolfheart. Kind of hard to see that because of the fucking glare on my light. But yeah, there it is. It's like a melodic death metal with really cool lyrics. It reminds me of Immortal. A lot of cold, darkness, winter themed lyrics like that. I think it's really cool. So I think you should definitely check it out. So yeah, that's Wolfheart. Album is Winterborn. Check it out. I recommend it. I like it. Right on. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Comment below. Let me know what you thought. Hopefully you enjoyed the story. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. I'll put that in the description section as I always do. Yeah, have a great night. Thanks for watching, and stay brutal, guys.